Welcome back to what I did this week for my music business. Can he keep it under 20 minutes? My name is Cato of B.L.A.M.E. Society. That's Black Liberating Arts Movement and Entertainment Society. Let me just remind everybody what this vlog is for. Number one, I'm doing this to document my journey with my music business. For those of you who have been following me so far, as of July or June, it's no longer just B.L.A.M.E. Society, it's B.L.A.M.E. Society LLC, specifically Black Liberating Arts Movement and Entertainment Society LLC. There's aspirations and goals, but we got to build the foundation first, and that's what we're doing. And I'm going to be as honest as I can, because some things are just too personal to share, of course. But if it relates to what we're trying to do, and if it helps somebody else, that's what it's here for. I also want to utilize this platform for reporting on events. If you want me to talk about an event that you have going on and you want me there, like, just invite me so I can throw it on the calendar. I need at least a week's advance to plan anything. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's what happened with Hoodstock. Suge Avery had hit me up and she had told me about Hoodstock for September, like probably a week after her performance at CBGB. So maybe late July, early August, she had invited me to this event for me to put it on the calendar, right? And so that was like perfect for me. I had it on the calendar well in advance, and it was able to pop out and make time for that. So for me to pop out all the time, to be on the scene all the time, it's not healthy for me. You know what I mean? I got to take care of the things that I'm grateful for. The way we keep the things we have is to maintain them. And a plant can only be prosperous and grow it so long as it has what it needs to maintain its development. So if I choose to stop developing the things in my life that I need, that I love, that would be moving backwards. So we're not going to do that. So with that being said, I value my time and I value my life today. If you're interested in me doing that for you, just hit me up. Make sure I have at least a week's notice and we'll see what's cracking. I had a session with Domo last night, and it went incredibly well. I wish we could have did more, but we've been talking about how we want to grow our set together and grow our performance together. And one of the ways we can do that is to make songs together and like have sessions together where we're recording together. Usually I just record at home and then I send him the finished product. Basically, like, he makes the beat, he sends it to me, I do what I do, and I send it back. So we wanted to start like having sessions together. You saw that with Sasha Monique, where he added beautiful insight on that. And so for us working together, we wanted to do the same for our own craft, for our own project. So he has this beat called Fake Suiciders, and I had wrote a verse, laid it down a couple weeks ago, and he said he was inspired and he was like, yo, I think I want to hop on that too. Like, he might want to record something. So it's been almost 10 years since I recorded Domo's vocals, right? And actually trying to get it in the mix. And so, it's when you're working with somebody who's new to recording or out of the process of recording, it takes a while to get into the groove of things. So, but we got some good takes. He did a really good job, especially once he started getting comfortable. And unfortunately, I don't have too much footage because he needed the lyrics and his son had his phone. So he had to use my phone for the lyrics. So I got a little bit of footage of him, of us fooling around, setting everything up. I don't know if you'll get too much of him doing his thing, but shout out to Domo again for just trusting me in this process and being my partner through this whole thing, bro. We're going, right? We've come so far. We have so much more to go. We have so much more to do. But I'm grateful that I have somebody like him on my side. All right. With that being said, let's jump into the bulk of our episode today. On October 6th, t-dubb-o, St. Louis rapper and battle rapper, had went live on Facebook. Now, I didn't see it when it was live. I think I saw it the next day or the following day after that. And basically, he was commenting on and elaborating on a post by another St. Louis artist and producer named Bates. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Cato has been doing music pretty much my whole life, right? I've been doing this. However, I'm very new to the scene, right? So when we talk about the scene, at least in my opinion, we're talking about the shows, the open mics, the events, and all the artists and people involved that show up to these things, right? This is the scene. And there's many, and there's actually much more that falls into that. But of course, when you're new, you're just kind of like getting and understanding. A couple months ago, I had made a comment to somebody about how I'm realizing how vast the ecosystem, the hip hop scene, and the music ecosystem is in St. Louis. Hip hop specifically, but like music in general. There's so many people that make music, right? And good music at that. And so just trying to get an understanding of how it all works together. To me, it always felt divided as far as like cliques and people who have their own tribes, basically, is how I look at it. And I feel like I'm not an exception. But this is also why I felt the need to create my own brand and form B.L.A.M.E. So he's talking about this, and I think Bates' post or status was saying how the industry itself, as far as like the media and the DJs, just aren't like supporting the artists. And when I had talked to this other person about this is several months ago, we were talking about how, this idea of like people feeling the need to leave the city to feel to get support, basically. This has been happening for a long time. And but 10 years ago, when I heard about this thing, I didn't know what it meant. Okay. Like I didn't get it because I wasn't tapped in how I am now. But 10 years ago, I remember a lot of people saying, yo, I'm going to ATL, I'm going to Atlanta to do their thing, or they're going to Chicago to do their thing. I don't know too many people who have went to LA, but I'm sure I do. Right. So everybody was talking about leaving. Right. And and I didn't understand why until when I saw this live and he's talking about what Bates is saying. And he starts talking about how it's almost as if the music industry itself in St. Louis doesn't support local artists the way it should, like as far as like playing their music and really just breaking records and things like that. Again, I'm new. So it's like, okay, that explains what I'm seeing, right? That explains why the underground seems so lit and so active. But it's almost like, how come people aren't bigger than what they should be? You know what I mean? That kind of question. And so that kind of answered it right there. I was like, oh. And then you understand why artists move or travel a lot to do shows and do other things, because there's many opportunities outside the city. And it's easy to sit back and be like, well, why can't you do that here? Well, now we know why. You know what I mean? Now you know why. And so there's no question there. And if you think about it, 20 years ago, I think about what was on the radio. I had to look it up. And here's the crazy part, because I had Googled like St. Louis rappers, right? Just on a humbug, like after listening to this live. Matter of fact, I listened to this live about 4 or 5 times now, right? Shout out to t-dubb-o. He's a real guy. And I'm saying that because I'm not cussing on his vlog, okay? But I had Googled St. Louis rappers, especially like around that time period. And the ones that pop up were Nelly, of course, right? Like we give him a lot of credit for getting us on the map, right? Nelly, the Lunatics, Chingy, Jibbs, Jaquan, right? And the reason I think that they stuck, at least in my head, all those years and all these years, is because they were on the radio. But when you think about the music that they were playing on the radio, it was more so like, unless it was like an R&B record, like the Chingy and I can't remember who he had featured on that song, but you know that song. Every time I try to go, something keeps pulling me back. That song. And he had another one. I can't remember what it was. Y'all don't be mad, bro. But y'all know, right? If it wasn't like an R&B slow like that, it was more like a dance song or a club song, right? And so like those were memorable, and they got played on the radio. And as a kid growing up, we listened to the radio, but at some point I stopped listening to the radio because, it was 2004, 2005. We burning CDs, fam. Let's keep it 100. We had LimeWire. We're downloading stuff. Bro, I'm listening at this time. I wrote this down. I'm listening to Jay-Z. I'm listening to 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. Like, that's where I'm at in my development, right? As a rapper, like, I'm trying to learn how to flow like them. So St. Louis artists weren't really on my playlist. Like, they weren't in because I didn't know they were spitting like that. I do want to say, though, I do want to say though, because I'm mad when I googled the St. Louis artist. Jaquan wasn't on that list at first. Like I had to look him up. I was like, bro, how come he didn't pop up? And shout out to Jaquan because I want to say like Hood Hop, that album was fire, right? Uh, no disrespect to the other artists, right? Like I love all of them, especially as a kid. But that Jaquan Hood Hop was sick, and I'll never forget what song is it. And they asked me, I used to memorize that song. I had it memorized. I haven't listened to it in years now, but that song in particular stood out to me, and that wasn't a hit. Like that was a deep cut on the album. I think it was track number 7, if I'm not mistaken. Back when these songs were like hot, like they were all club records. And what t-dubb-o was saying was like that's what they were pushing instead of lyrical content. They were pushing like club hits. And I remember like being with the homies like as a kid and talking about how we wanted to make club hits, like, which is insane, right? Like, why would we want to do that? The only answer I could think of is because that's what the thing was at the time. Make a hit, make a hit record, and it's got to be something that plays in the club because the club is where you're gonna get all the exposure. People gonna want to hear it. They're gonna request it. Whatever. It'll get on the radio, and that's how you gonna make this bread. And you made it. It's never that simple, by the way. And so I think that's where that idea came from. So when he said that, when Dub said that on his live, I was like, oh, so that's where I got that mentality at when I was younger, bro. But he had called out some scammers and promoters as well, bro. And I'm with it. I think the thing that really connected with me when he said it was like people taking advantage of the young ones, taking advantage of new artists, taking advantage of their bright eyes. And you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is be careful who you give your money to as an artist, because not everybody has your interest at heart. They're only looking out for themselves. And when you only look out for yourself, somebody is getting the short end of the stick. I came across this live because B.Magic, aka Magic, aka Shot by Magic, the guy who did J Rock and I's video, he had reposted this. So he had shared this live, and that's how I found it. And so he's talking about Bates, and I was like, I heard Bates because I saw her at Fresh Produce earlier this year. And I think they said she was an MC when I was there, but I think at the moment, I think I was just like, oh, okay, she's a producer. I didn't realize she was an MC and producer, and probably she does probably more than that as well. And so anyway, he made a comment about how there was a personality, PR personality, I don't know, maybe a radio personality or something like that, who gave him grief, and then it just turned out like that person didn't know who he was, right? And I felt salty because I'm like I heard your name, but I haven't taken the time to really dig into your material. You know what I mean? And forgive me, bro. And if you're an artist, bro, and you watching this, keep it 100. How much time do you have in your day, in your life, to stop and listen to other people's music? It's hard. It's hard. And I know we stop and whenever somebody like Tyler the Creator or Kendrick Lamar, whenever they drop, right, the clips, we there. So it's definitely about like being tapped in to where you can get some quality hip hop music from people right here in our own town, bro. And so I definitely was convicted, right? I was convicted. And so I was like, I need to take the time to check him out. So number one, I checked out Magic. Bruh. Look, it's not much to say other than do yourself a favor and go listen to Living Legend. Steppers, I played that track so many times this last week. All my North Side Steppers. Step, dog, hot. That mug is hot. I love it. And he got Pusha, and what was the other one I was really feeling, bro? I think it's called Nights or Late Nights or East Side Nights. I don't know, but that mug was hard too. Magic is a cold MC. Okay. Magic is a battle rapper as well. And he can spit, bro. Like he makes songs, and his videos, because he shoots them himself too, they be looking fire too. So shout out to Magic for doing what he does. I respect it. So listening to him, I felt like, okay, I definitely got to check out Dub now, t-dubb-o. Like I've heard his name several times. I need to listen to him. So after this live, I was like, okay, I'm definitely doing it. So I checked out Sets on the Wall. Classic. Classic. And that dropped this year. Classic. I started going through his old stuff as well. I think it was The Drop. Yeah. Here's what I love about these people, man. As me, right? Me, people ask like, bro, why are you making albums, and these projects instead of just dropping singles? I think that's just who I am as a person. I make long form material. Like that's just how I move, right? I give you a complete work, a complete story, because that's how my brain works. I want to tell a story. And Dub does that. Sets on the Wall, it's a story. And the graffiti spray, like, bro, Cole. The Drop though, it opens up with a short movie. Like it's an audio movie, but it's a movie, bro. Like the way he did that skit, fire, bro. Make sure y'all check that out. With that being said, I was like, okay, I listened to him and he's bigging up Bates. I was like, I need to check her tape out that she had dropped this year called The Tales of Mother Goose. Don't be mad if I said it wrong. Okay. Because Cato be making mistakes, but I'll post the image. You know how I do. And wow. The concept, hell, the quality, the production, the sound, the story, brilliant. Well played. Dog. Again, another person who takes the concept of an album and uses it to tell the story, or uses it to give you something more than just hits. You know what I mean? It's more than that. And oh my God, bro. So just that alone, bro, I've been filled like all week. So between Magic's Living Legend, Sets on the Wall, and then Tales from Mother Goose by Bates, incredible. Just incredible, bro. So I went on a tangent, right? But I had to say that because he has said that, people don't be doing their research, and people be thinking, because they can't use the excuse anymore of like, I didn't know who you were. And it's just like, you're right. But it's like, if you hear a name so many times, you need to check them out. And so like, I love the fact that he bigged up Lil Derek, who I met this year. Phenomenal artist, phenomenal NC. He bigged up Brandon Michael Lewis, who I had recalled him from a track he had featured on for her. I think she's going by Girl Bravo now. That song, I forgot. Oh, what's the name of that song? It's a good one too. Oh man, that's gonna kill me. Okay. Anyway, he did a feature with Girl Bravo, and that's how I heard of him. They killed that song, and talked about t-dubb-o, and I've listened to some of his music as well. Dude is insane with what he does, bro. Bars, storytelling. Anytime you beefing with politics, like anytime you beefing with politics, bro, you about that life. So shout out to them, man. And so anyway, I say all that to say, he has said that, people didn't do their homework and they don't put the respect on these artists' names. So the least I could do is before I talk about them, I need to listen. You feel me? So I did. And I'm grateful I did, because it's like, okay, St. Louis is filled with so much talent, so much. And it's a shame that these people aren't bigger than what they need, than what they should be. You feel me? But anyway, when I say Dub is a real one, here's why. So I sent him a message, and y'all, I thought about this message long and hard before I sent it, because I was nervous, right? Because I'm like, dude don't know me. And I'm not tapped in with the scene. I'm on the scene. I'm new. So I don't know nobody like that. You know what I mean? For me to message him. But he said in this live, he said, let me see what he said. He said he didn't mind sharing game, and low key, he gave game throughout that whole live. If you watch it, listen to what he's saying, because he's given us a lot of pointers, specifically about investing in your craft and getting that return on your investment. And one of the things he has said was lighting another candle doesn't put out his fire. It makes the room brighter. And that I was like, hell yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot him a text. I'm gonna shoot him a message on Facebook. And so I just kind of asked him, like, I said a lot of stuff, but the main question I asked him was, you said that you made your own path. What does that look like? Right? He basically was just like, there's no blueprint anymore. Throwing our own events, throwing our own shows, and investing in our craft, right? Investing in yourself. There's not much else you can really do. It's like, it's an experiment. Like, you just have to throw some against the wall until it works for you and your brand. And I was like, facts. He made a comment that he feels people like St. Louis don't play his music, and he don't really trip off of it too much because he feels like it's not made for, the club scene. And that's how I feel too. We all make our own different types of sounds and things like that, but we all tell a story and we all have our own, you know what I mean? And so we have to tap in with people to find those spaces that will play our stuff. You know what I mean? And so the last thing I want to say that he said on the live was, I think this is the realest, bro. He said, follow your heart with this art. Believe in what you have to say. Believe in your voice. Be creative. Make your own way. Invest in your own way. And I was like, that's icing on the cake, fam. That's what we're doing. And I had told him, I had responded to what he said. I was like, it is frustrating and freeing at the same time with the whole there's no blueprint. And with that being said, it just means we have to just kind of double down and just continue doing what we're doing. We already doing it. We already doing it. And the fact that I get to do it is why I'm grateful. And I think that's why I'm still here. You know, I don't know what the future holds, but as of right now, I plan on sticking with it. We got to get this album out. We almost there, man. I think next week I'll give you guys another mastering update. We'll see where we are with that. If you want to support, I said this last week and I'm going to try to remind myself to say it every week. If you want to support, here's what you can do. Number one, subscribe to this channel. We're growing this channel. I want to hit 200 before the year is over. I want to hit 200 before this year is over. Let's do it. When you subscribe to the B.L.A.M.E channel, subscribe to the Cato St. Louis channel too. We got to grow that one too. Why not? We might as well grow both. If you want to support, also stream our music. Follow us on all the platforms that you stream your music on, just to help grow those numbers up. Check out the re-releases that we just did. We have Sacrifices. The album is re-released. Gravity Slowed Down version is re-released, and FTP Me and P.Mo is re-released through T-Law. So be sure to check those out as well. Stream our music, man. Go to Bandcamp, catoofficial.bandcamp.com. Download something. That's a wonderful way to support us. And of course, sign up for the newsletter. It only goes out monthly. There's no spam. It's free. And it just gets you like special insight and behind the scenes goodies and things like that I only put in the newsletter. So be sure to tap in with us, man. We have a lot to grow and a lot to do. I hope that I can count on you. And I think that's it. If no one has told you that they love you today, just know that I do, and I always will. It's Cato of B.L.A.M.E.SOCIETY. That's Black Liberating Arts Movement and Entertainment Society. I'll see you guys next week.